Have you ever wanted an 80-inch Android tablet? Yeah, I never really thought about it either, but you can have one now. Projectors are pretty cool because you can have a screen pretty much anywhere, especially with little Pico projectors. But really, all they are is a screen for your device that you plug into it. They don't really act on their own. But with the TouchJet Pond, you can actually just use the projector itself and everything is built in, and it's also touchscreen. It's pretty awesome. What's cool about this projector is that it has a built-in battery, built-in Wi-Fi, built-in Bluetooth, and the best thing about it is that it has Android built in, so you're going to be able to use it without having to use any external sources. This project started on Indiegogo, and the idea was to create a touch-sensitive surface out of any surface. So you just project the projector onto a wall or wherever you want, and then you're going to be able to interact with it. Instead of using just a remote, you can actually touch things and it works. It's pretty sweet. Now, the unit comes with everything you need all in a little carrying pouch, so it's pretty easy to take around with you. You have the projector itself, you have two styli, a remote, and a charging cable. The projector itself is really quite small and it'll fit in pretty much any bag, but again, it comes with its own carrying case, so that's not too big of an issue, but very portable here. On the back, you have the I/O with micro USB, mini HDMI, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and also the charging port. On the bottom, you have a thread so you can attach it to a tripod or any other standard thread, and on the right you have the power switch and focus ring. On the front is where all the cool stuff is. You have the projector itself, and then right next to that you have a little sensor to detect the little IR beams, which makes it touch sensitive. So this projector is running Android, like I said, and there's a few cool ways to interact with it. The first way is with a standard remote, and it's pretty great and works really well. It has all the options you would expect from a normal remote for a projector or a TV or anything like that. Works really well, but one really cool thing about this is that it has Bluetooth built in, so you can actually connect to Android with Bluetooth and use it as a virtual mouse. It's really great and really works fantastically well. All you have to do to use it is move the remote around in the air like you would a mouse, and you can move the pointer around and select what you want, and it works extremely well. But I think the cooler way to interact with the screen is by touch, and to do that you're going to need a stylus, and this kit comes with two of those. There's two ways to use the pen. The first way is to actually tap on what you're wanting to select. The tip is touch sensitive, so it knows what you're actually tapping, and it works pretty well and makes it pretty easy to select something. But I find that it isn't the best for every surface, especially if you're dragging around something. If your wall has texture on it and you're gonna drag something across with it, it just doesn't really work that well because there's all these ridges and bumps. It still detects fine, but it just feels not that great to use. But the second way to use it, and I think the better way, is to actually do it kind of in the air. So you're still selecting on what you want, but you're not actually touching the surface. There's actually a button you can click on the stylus that will activate the IR blaster and send the signal to the remote, and it works really well. And I found that it's just as accurate as actually tapping on what you want. All you have to do is make sure you calibrate it, and as long as you calibrate it every single time you use it, the sensitivity and the accuracy of the pen is really great. I found the pins to be great when there's more than one person interacting with the screen at a time, or when you're playing games. My favorite one that I've found so far is Fruit Ninja. It's a pretty standard game that everyone's heard of, but putting it on a screen and making it touch sensitive, that's huge, and you're actually having to interact with it. It's really fun, and you can take challenges with other people, and it's just a great way to interact with something that you're used to, but in a totally different way. It's really great. Also, in the education space, the options are pretty much endless. You can have a virtual whiteboard where you can write things, you can do flashcards, you can do a number of different things. And because it's running Android, you have the Play Store, so you can download any app you want, and it should work here no problem, just the way you would expect it to on a tablet or a phone, but this is just much more interactive. But besides the interactive apps, it's still a projector, so you can watch YouTube, you can watch Netflix, you can watch Hulu. All those apps, again, you can download here and use them as you would in any other device. And it's really great because it's all self-contained, and all you have to do is take this little projector with you, and then you have an 80-inch version of what you wanted to do on your phone, but projected pretty much anywhere you want. Now, the battery that's built in lasts about 2 hours, and I found that to be pretty good for a projector, but just remember, if you're going to be using it for longer periods of time, not to forget your power cord, because you're going to need that. But it's nice that it has a battery built in, so again, all contained, you can just use the projector itself. Now, besides the usability features, which are all pretty cool so far, what's important here as well is how the screen actually looks. Now, it goes up to 80 inches, which is pretty good, I find, but it's not an HD screen, so you're definitely not going to get the sharpest quality out of this, but I found it to be pretty suitable for what it is, especially for a little Pico projector. For the size of this thing, I think it looks pretty great. It doesn't get super bright, and you're definitely going to have a dark room to use it, but as long as you have the right conditions, it looks really good. Now, I do wish that it was HD just so when you're watching the content, you can get a little bit better picture, but for all the other features it gets, it's pretty excusable not to have it. Now the only real issue with the picture that I found is that if you don't have the projector quite square, there's no way to adjust the picture to make it square. So since you're using this projector in a multitude of different locations, most likely the fact that you aren't able to adjust the picture in every single way is a little frustrating. So you're going to want to make sure that you have the projector square on whatever you're projecting on, otherwise it's not going to look right and there's really no way to adjust that, and I really wish that was included. But besides that one little thing that really kind of bothers me, everything else about it works extremely well and works as advertised, and you really do get a touchscreen projector. It's awesome, and I would definitely recommend this if you're into gaming with your family or if you're into the education space. This could really be a great tool for a lot of different people, and it could be used in a multitude of ways, and it's definitely something to check out. So I'll leave pricing and availability down below, so go ahead and check that out if you are interested in this projector. Also, if you have any questions about it, leave a question down below in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. I really enjoyed this product, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the video itself and helps out the channel. And if you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe so you can see when new videos are out. My name is Matt, and I will see you guys in my next video. See ya!